to deliver a final order today on the case which might help the company monetize and develop group housing on 2,000 crore acres of land. So that stock up now to, okay, it's gotten postponed. I understand, my producer is telling me that it's gotten postponed. So perhaps wait for another day, but BF Utilities was up on that news. Also, the yen has taken a bit of a beating after the BOJ holding its monetary policy steady, so that also will be a minor positive for Maruti. But not positive, the overnight news from Argentina for Bajaj Auto. That company sells scooters, sells two-wheelers in Argentina, and the devaluation might hurt the amount of the number of vehicles that it might sell. S. Ravikumar, President Business Development Bajaj Auto, has joined us on the phone line from Pune. Mr. Ravikumar, thanks much. Good morning to you. What's the likely hit because of the peso devaluation in Argentina?
Absolutely, much to the contrary. We see it as actually as a positive news.
Oh.
Let me just give you some basic details. Like, though the dollar official rate itself was around 9.68, they had this concept of this blue dollar, which already was trading at somewhere around 14.5. And the government, was with the elections and all that, which panned out in October. The government and the economists and the central bankers were already much glued onto the ground, and they were preparing the path already. And I was told that there is some quasi measures which they did announce in terms of some foreign bond type of a story, where it was almost quasi official. Even this blue dollar was a quasi official thing that was going on. So what they have actually done is sort of, now that the new government is in place, and the good news is from a socialist type of a regime, this is a more towards the right type of a regime, more closer to the IMF and the US and free market economies like that. And they are now making it just official. So it is already in the market, already on the ground for quite a few months now. And another big intrinsically correct factor in Argentina is Argentinian exports are largely agrarian. They are, soya bean and this, that, etc. So they are not oil exporting countries. And this new government is absolutely business friendly. Everything is, if at all in this troubled world, if we are looking for good spots, Argentina is very, very good spot. Okay. Added to that, our distributor there was a very smart Palak, and he anticipated all this.
Okay.
And he sort of prepared the ground very nicely. In fact, Argentina is going to be a fantastic growth spot for us in this particular year. And we are absolutely, our thing is for the Bombay basis, we are not going to reduce even $1 there. And our volume projections actually have been upped in the recent thing. So we are going to grow very well there. It's going to be a strong market for us.
Okay. Mr. Ravikumar, good morning, and that's good to hear. So there is no change in the landed cost of Bajaj Auto's products when it hits Argentina in local currency. Your products are not going to be more expensive compared to what they were a month ago.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, and that is for sure. And then even the retail prices, because the distributor was already preparing the ground for what was going to happen going forwards, it is all absolutely, completely factored in and very well settled over the recent months.
But Mr.
And
Ravikumar,
actually positive.
An aggressive devaluation also leads to local inflation and fall in the purchasing power in the hands of the local Argentinian. You must have already gone through that when the Naira was devalued in Nigeria. Don't you think that purchasing power hit may come?
You see, the only thing is, I would agree with you on a macroeconomic principles basis, but the fact is that the socialist regime had not allowed things happen on the ground, and that had really pulled down the economy.
Okay.
And the trade basket is quite favorable, and once the right governance sets in place, things should only become all right. And so it is a transition which has got to be managed properly. and if, for example, if a right-wing government had gone out and the socialist regime had come in place at this time,
Okay.
I wouldn't be talking this language to you.
Okay.
Fair point.
Just to give us a few numbers, what percentage of your exports come from the Argentinian market? And secondly, you said you've upped the volume projections for Argentina. What was it earlier and what does it currently stand at? If you could give us some
Argentina, we became active in the last few years only. It is not one of the markets where we have been there for decades. And Argentina has had its share of problems in the last governance regime. And now, it's not a very huge market. It is a sort of a 150,000 motorcycle market. In that, for example, we started in FY14. We were at something like single-digit market share, and in the current, in the last year, we went up to almost about 30% plus type of a market share. We should close this year at a good, almost about a 45% type of a market share, 22,000 units per annum, and it's largely pulsars. It is only pulsar range, and it is a damn good profitable market for us.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is that this new government, whatever, Mauricio Macri's government, is more like what Manmohan Singh did in 1991 or probably Narendra Modi has done in 2013 for the economy?
And I think if the trade policies are maybe much easier to implement, and once that falls in place, in today's world scenario, the bounce and positivity can set in very fast there.
All right. Okay.
Okay, just one question. You said, I think volumes in Argentina, you're expecting 22,000 units per annum this year?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, what was it last year and what were you earlier anticipating? Because you've said you've upped your volume projections.
Yeah, because last year was just 12,000.
12,000, okay.
Yeah, and as I told you, we entered this only a few years back. And Pulsar NS is what is really creating the waves there. And as you know, Pulsar range itself is a very profitable range for us, and we are settling in there very neatly.
Okay, fine. We'll let you go on that. Just a word, how has December sales been?
Wait for the second or third.
Well, it's only 3 weeks down almost.
Yeah, you see, December is generally a slow month.
Oh, right. We'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Ravikumar. Now, that's very important information.